Hey, Dr. Childress. Kind of answering your stuff on my question and my video. First off, I want to say is my video was basically for my adult children and why these other experts are not answering and not giving us possibly, I know you hate this word, flowchart for that. But the other thing, and I think this is very important, you keep saying shared persecutory delusion. Make sure this is heard, make sure you report that. My books are for people that do. My books, like me, I actually filed a shared persecutory delusion in August 16th of 2015 when I saw it in my daughter's eyes when she testified. I went to the DSS, the Division of Child Services in my town, Watauga County, and I filed that. It was given to Chad Slagle with Watauga DSS, who said, we do not do emotional abuse. We do not do psychological abuse. Sexual abuse, yes. Physical abuse, yes. So what was I supposed to do at that point? I escalated it, nothing. Then I escalated it again. And I escalated it to the director. The director told me there's nothing they can do and too bad. The director is Tom Hughes. Yeah, so now just like you had 20,000 signatures that you brought to the American Psychological Association, handed it to them, and what did they tell you? Nothing. They told you go away. You're the troublemakers. So you're trying to tell me, and you're telling me, you made it very clear, listen, and I do, okay? Matter of fact, you are probably one of the ones I listen to most because you are an extremely good teacher and your shit makes sense. It's very simple, it's very easy to follow. But on Parental Alienation Day, that's when I did my diatribe. It was not just on your Facebook site, it was across all the Facebook sites, basically saying, what the hell are these people, these experts doing? Okay? And especially for us with adult kids, they say there's a certain line of thought that you should be texting and emailing, which would help get your kids back into the fold. That's why I was asking this. That's why I made that video for my adult kids. You are absolutely right as far as all your other stuff. If you have kids and you are in a trial and you are there and they're minors and you don't do this and you don't follow up, you should do that. You should do every single thing according to what you're saying. That is beautiful and that's what should be done. But what do you do when the Division of Child Services tell you to, go away? Then that's why now I have my letters that show different attachments, or that have different attachments that show that emotional abuse. This is from the APA. They did a press release in October of 2014 that I wasn't aware of till a couple years later. They did the letter of how horrible separating kids at the border is, which kind of fit right in, although it wasn't a shared persecutory delusion, it was separating kids at the border, separating kids in family court. There's still a lot of crossover there. I may be wrong. I'm sure you're gonna rip that apart, but my letters are for filing child abuse charges. So when I filed child abuse charges with Len Hageman, Sheriff Len Hageman out of Watauga County, he told me to kiss off. When I went to the heads of the DSS in the state and I told them it was a shared persecutory delusion, they said there's nothing we can do. Sorry. Okay? I went all the way up to the top. When I went to the Attorney General, Josh Stein of North Carolina, nothing. I got his lawyer to be like, we can't do anything. So, when you're telling people to go and do stuff and they're getting hit in the head because these places don't want to do anything. They don't want to look at what is a shared persecutory delusion because half of them don't even know. The ones that do is that maybe they heard about it. And most of them don't even dig into emotional abuse. My whole thing is that if they don't do this, they're all part of a child trafficking network and a child abuse network, and they're making money from it from Title 4D. And I know you may not like the depth of that, but what else is a parent supposed to do? I filed this. And what I'm trying to get people to do is, if you are a parent, file it. But make sure you have 4, 6, 10 people that are filing it with you. Make that sheriff, make that person in the DSS, and make them report back and make sure there are files on there. That's what I'm trying to do. Because once they have that and once they don't do that, they're a child abuser. They're a child trafficker. Okay? They're helping protect child abusers. So, you may think I'm wrong, but there's a lot of people that have gone your route, that have done this, and they've gotten nowhere. I don't know what else to say other than let everybody know, protest these sons of bitches with flyers, with banners out in front of the courthouse, where you can actually show this is what they're doing. This is why they're doing it. This is what they're doing. And because they are already putting all of us parents into a corner. They want to paint us into a corner so we can't get out, so we don't know where to turn. We go to DSS, you're crazy. No, we're not. But they won't do anything about emotional abuse. I'm going to go to the sheriff. Well, I'm going to protect the judge and protect the guy from the DSS. And they did that on my case. They all protected one another from the shared persecutory delusion and could care less about the emotional abuse and psychological abuse. They couldn't care. So what do? Then we start going a little further nuts. Am I the one that's nuts? I mean, I'm listening to you, but they're not doing anything. And then I made ethics violations. I made ethics violations against one of the heads of clinical psychology, Dr. Kurt Michaels, over at Appalachian State. I made ethics violations because he didn't report child abuse, because he didn't follow up to help my kids. He actually ignored all the stuff. I even sent him videos of you explaining it. His response was 0. Let's push this under the rug. Where do we go? Where do we go? I mean, I brought hard evidence that I was denied due process in my case, up to the North Carolina Judicial Commission, done by Wanda Bryant. Okay? You know what they said? In their language, we don't care about your rights. We care about our judges. What is a person supposed to do when you're looking at your child and you know they're being abused, and we're using your steps? Hey, this one's a shared persecutory delusion. We did an assessment. We did whatever. And even if they do an assessment, they're going to cherry pick. And then where do we go? Okay, these people aren't qualified. Yes, we have been let down across the board. But what are we supposed to do when we look into our daughter's or son's eyes and we see there's trauma and we can't do anything? And we've gone to all these places that you have suggested. I've even filed, like I say, I've tried to file felony charges of child abuse. Nothing. Cover it up. Slide it under the rug. I'm not jumping on you with my videos. Okay? No way. I think you have put this as plain and as simple as possible in clinical psychological terms that people can understand. But when I take that stuff and give it to everybody and they look at me and refuse to do anything, and I make ethics violations and the ethics department refuses to do anything, so I bring it up to the American Psychological Association and they tell me to go kiss off. We all need to get together and we all need to start protesting these judges, these lawyers, and calling them out for what they are. That's why I'm writing my books. That's why I wrote my books, that we just need to file child abuse charges and keep records of it on all these judges, all these lawyers, the Bar Association, every one of them, because we know they're all corrupt. But the only way we can change things, in my opinion, is to show the public and call the media and do as much social as we possibly can. I got a bunch of people to go to the APA's website and do reviews. And we called them child abusers, and they refused to look at shared persecutory delusion and separation of parents and children in court, and whatever. People gave them a 1-star review. You know what happened in 4 months? They got their reviews removed from Google. How do you do that? Well, you have money and you pay people. They have no more reviews. They went from a 4.5 star in 1 month down to like a 2.5 star. Because we had 35 people who left reviews and they didn't know what to do, so they had them erased. So, my books are out there, and hopefully they're to help people file child abuse charges. I asked that they add in some of the stuff about, shared persecutory delusion and all the other stuff in them. But we're fighting an uphill battle that makes $80 billion a year. And I know the first person that goes out and says, hey, this is a shared persecutory delusion against my kids, is gonna get the kicked out of them. And that was me, okay? I lost it for like 2 years. But now I'm back. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let this happen to other people. And the only way we're going to change this is if we all band together. So one person who's dealing with an emotional child abuse that's going on, shared persecutory delusion, we all need to file charges against that judge, against that DSS or DCS, and we all need to file with the sheriff there, because that is, I think, the only way we're going to change it. This is way too much money for you to change it, way too much money for 1 or 2 people to change it. We all need to get it together and change it. And that's what I'm saying. I diverted from my first video, which again was for, I know you don't like this, but it's called Parental Alienation Day. Because it doesn't sound the same if it's Shared Persecutory Delusion Day. Anyhow, Craig, I love you, okay? You can say all the crap about me you want, but you're the first book I picked up, and it made plenty of sense to me. I've been in contact with Dr. Warshak. I've been in contact with Amy Baker. I've been in contact with Bill Burnett. I've been in contact with Michael Bone. I've been in contact with all the experts. I have all their emails. I'm tired. And I'm tired of all the stuff that's happening to these parents and to all of us. And I want only to get this right. And I'm really, I don't know what else to say. I don't want to ramble anymore. I've already taken up a lot of time. But I thank you for watching this. I thank you very much for your responses. I do love constructive criticism. I have skin like a New Jerseyite, so I'm okay with it. Most of the stuff you said was absolutely true. Most of the stuff you said, I've used it already, and it got me nowhere. It actually got me more frustrated and helped me lose my mind, because I thought nobody understood what real psychology is about. And so I'm still pushing your line, and I'm still pushing what this is. But I'm also pushing filing child abuse charges and letting people know that these people are criminals. With that being said, have a wonderful day.